Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're gonna dive into a classic Greek myth, the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Lots of adventure and intrigue.
Yeah.
So, to guide us through all the twists and turns we have, an expert with us. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to delve into this myth.
So, to start off, for listeners who maybe haven't revisited this story since childhood, can you give us the Spark Notes version?
Sure. It's about Jason, a young prince who's been robbed of his birthright by
Right.
his power-hungry uncle, Peleus.
Okay.
Peleus tasks Jason with this seemingly impossible task, retrieving the Golden Fleece, hoping he'll never return.
So, right from the start, we have ambition and betrayal. Classic Greek myth material.
Absolutely. And the fleece itself is this potent symbol of kingship, divine favor, ultimate power.
So Peleus is hoping this quest will be the end of Jason. But Jason's no ordinary prince, right? He has some tricks up his sleeve.
He does. He's been trained by the centaur Chiron, learning everything from combat to diplomacy.
Right. So combat skills, strategy, all the tools a hero needs.
Yeah, he's been prepped for this.
Okay. So he's got the training, but he's still going up against, impossible odds, right?
Right. He needs help. And that's where the Argonauts come in.
Oh yeah, the Argonauts, the
Yeah.
original dream team, right?
Exactly. This band of heroes, each with their own unique skills and backstories.
Okay, so like, who are we talking about here? Anyone we might recognize?
Well, you've got Heracles, the embodiment of strength. Orpheus, the musician whose melodies could even charm the gods.
Oh wow.
You know,
Okay, powerful stuff.
and the twin sons of Zeus, Castor and Pollux, known for their prowess in battle.
Okay, so we've got like the all-stars of Greek mythology here.
Yeah, you could say that.
Wow. So Jason set sail with this crew of legends, but I'm guessing it's not all smooth sailing, right? It's not just a pleasure cruise to get the fleece.
Definitely not. The journey is fraught with peril. They face terrifying creatures, treacherous waters, even social dilemmas.
Okay, so like what kind of dilemmas? Give us an example.
Well, there's this interesting episode on the island of Lemnos,
Okay.
inhabited entirely by women who had overthrown their male rulers.
Oh,
The Argonauts find themselves navigating this very unique society.
that's fascinating. A whole island of powerful women. I'd love to hear more about that sometime, but I think we gotta stick to the main story here.
Yeah, it's a whole side adventure.
Okay, so they escape the island, but what other dangers do they face on the way to Colchis? That's where the fleece is, right?
Right, and one of the most terrifying is the Symplegades, these massive clashing rocks that guard a narrow strait.
Oh, I've heard of those. Like impossible to sail through, right?
Almost impossible. It takes divine intervention to get them through.
Okay,
Yeah.
so even heroes need a little help from the gods sometimes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a pretty close call.
Okay, so they get to Colchis. Finally, what's waiting for them there?
King Aedes, the guardian of the fleece, and he's not exactly welcoming.
Of course not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a valuable treasure. He's not going to just hand it over.
Right. He sets Jason some impossible tasks designed to, test his limits.
Like what kind of tasks are we talking about?
Yokes, fire-breathing bulls, plows a field with them, then faces an army of warriors that spring up from dragon's teeth.
Oh wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Sounds like he stacked the deck against Jason.
Definitely a challenge designed for him to fail.
So how does Jason even begin to tackle this? Does he have any secret weapons or allies?
Well, that's where Medea comes in.
Ah, Medea, the
Uh-huh.
powerful sorceress.
Yeah, and her role is a lot more than just a love interest.
I bet. Tell us more about her.
She's Aedes' daughter, a skilled sorceress with her own agenda. She
Yeah.
helps Jason, but her motivations are complex, maybe defying her father, maybe seeking power for herself.
Okay, so she's got her own game going on.
Yeah, there's a lot more to her than meets the eye.
Okay, so she helps Jason,
Uh-huh.
but what's the price of her involvement?
She gives him magical protection, guides him, but to escape with the fleece, she's forced to make a terrible sacrifice.
A sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice?
Her own brother, Absyrtus.
Wow. To sacrifice her own flesh and blood, that's heavy.
It is. And it reveals a lot about her character, the lengths she'll go to for Jason or maybe for herself.
Yeah, that's chilling.
It is.
So they escape Colchis, right? they've got the fleece,
They do.
and now it's time to head back to Iolcus and face Peleus.
Exactly, the final showdown.
But I have a feeling things aren't going to be so simple, right?
You're right, there's a lot more to come.
Okay, well, we'll have to leave it there for now. But join us for the next part of this deep dive, where we explore what happens when Jason returns to Iolcus. Welcome back to our deep dive into Jason and the Golden Fleece. Last time we left them escaping Colchis, fleece in hand, and Medea having made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, that decision to sacrifice her brother really stuck with me.
Right. It makes you wonder, what's she going to do when they get back to Iolcus? I mean, how do they even approach Peleus? He's not just going to give up the throne.
Exactly. It's going to take more than just showing up with the fleece.
Medea, though, she's got a plan.
Okay, so what does she do? Does Jason, like, rally the people, use his, newfound heroic status?
It's actually Medea who takes the lead here. She's remember, she's not just a sorceress; she's cunning. She comes up with this plan to play on Peleus's desires.
Okay, his desires. Like, what's she thinking?
Power. You know, in Greek myth, youth equals power.
Yeah.
So she convinces Peleus's daughters that she can use her magic to restore his youth. Oh wow, that's pretty clever. So she's appealing to like their loyalty to their father.
Yeah, she convinces them this ritual, this involves chopping Peleus up and boiling him in a cauldron.
Oh my God, wait. They believe that.
They do. Medea's a master manipulator. She knows how to play on people's hopes and fears.
So Peleus is out of the picture. Jason gets his revenge, but through pretty dark means.
It definitely raises questions about the price of victory. I mean, was it worth it?
Right. It makes you wonder about Jason. Does he become a tyrant too?
Well, the myth focuses more on the relationship between Jason and Medea. You know, after everything they've been through, you'd think they'd be unbreakable, right?
Yeah, they've been through so much together.
But things get complicated. Medea, she's made enemies, and Jason starts to distance himself from her, worried about, the political fallout.
Really? After all she did for him?
He wants to be seen as a legitimate ruler, not beholden to a sorceress.
That's cold. I mean, she risked everything for him. Yeah.
It is a betrayal. And that sense of abandonment, it fuels Medea's, her next actions.
This is where her reputation for vengeance comes into play, right?
Exactly. Jason, to solidify his power, he decides to, he abandons Medea and marries the daughter of the king of Corinth.
Wow. Talk about adding insult to injury.
It is. And Medea, well, she doesn't just let it slide.
I can imagine. What does she do?
First, she murders Jason's new bride. But it's what she does next that really cements her place in myth.
Oh, God, she doesn't.
She does. Medea kills her own children.
That is, that's just horrifying.
It's a truly tragic act,
Yeah.
but it shows the devastating power of, betrayal and grief.
It's a reminder that these women in Greek myth, they weren't just passive figures. They were powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Medea is a force to be reckoned with.
So what about Jason? Does he just get away with all this?
He doesn't. He loses his throne, his status, and his life ends in a rather fitting way.
What do you mean?
He's crushed by a piece of the Argo, the ship that brought him the fleece.
Oh, wow. That's poetic justice, isn't it?
Yeah. The symbol of his triumph becomes his downfall.
So in the end, was Jason a hero or a villain?
I think Greek myths don't really offer easy answers. He's complex, capable of both good and bad.
Right, it's not black and white.
Jason's story shows that even those who achieve great things, they can still be flawed, make terrible mistakes.
It's a reminder that, ambition and power can be dangerous.
Yeah, without a moral compass, it can all fall apart.
This has been incredible. We've covered so much, from Jason's quest to Medea's revenge.
It's a story that keeps you thinking, even, thousands of years later.
And we're not done yet. Join us for the final part of this deep dive where we'll explore the legacy of Jason and the Golden Fleece, what it all means for us today. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've journeyed with Jason, seen his triumphs and his devastating downfall.
It really makes you think, about the choices we make and the consequences that follow.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, let's try to unpack some of those bigger ideas. What are the key takeaways from Jason's story? I mean, what can we learn from this myth thousands of years later?
Well, it's a classic hero's journey on one level, facing challenges, overcoming odds.
Right, like the human potential.
Exactly. But it's not a simple victory, is it? There's a dark side to Jason's, his success.
Right, it's all about power and the compromises he makes along the way.
Yeah, that initial goal, reclaiming his birthright, it seems justified.
Yeah, you kind of root for him at first.
But the methods, the deception, the even violence, it tarnishes that heroism.
And then there's Medea.
Right, the ultimate betrayal.
He throws away the one person who really helped him get there.
It's a cautionary tale, isn't it, about power corrupting, even with good intentions.
It is. And speaking of Medea, I mean, she's such a fascinating character.
Absolutely. She's not just, a damsel in distress. She's powerful, cunning.
She drives the story in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And her story forces us to, think about the choices women had back then, the limited options.
Right. She's resourceful, but also ruthless.
She's complex. And that's what makes her so compelling, I think.
It's not just about, good versus evil. It's more nuanced than that.
Right. And then there's the whole element of fate and the gods.
Oh, yeah. They're always meddling, aren't they?
It makes you wonder about free will versus destiny. Is Jason in control, or is he just a pawn in their game?
It's a question that, comes up a lot in Greek myth.
It's that tension between human action and divine will.
It's almost tragic, right? Even if you had made different choices, would it have even mattered?
It makes you think about, the role of fate in our own lives. Do we have control, or is it all predetermined?
Big questions.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason this story, still resonates with us.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the legacy of Jason and the Golden Fleece?
It's a story about, those timeless human experiences, ambition, betrayal, the desire for power.
The things we still struggle with today.
It transcends time because it reflects, something fundamental about being human.
It's a reminder that we're all flawed, that choices matter.
And that power without a moral compass can be destructive.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for guiding us through this epic tale, for sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure. And to our listeners, keep exploring these myths. They're full of wisdom and things that can still teach us, even today.
And that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.